No one is exempted from this. Everyone's got to do their part. So if you've got a vacant lot, you can't let it become a homelessness encampment. If you've got a vacant lot, you can't let it become a crime magnet.
Many here say homelessness has reached a crisis point in cities like LA and San Francisco. And now city and county officials have rallied behind state lawmakers who just passed H.R. 56, a resolution declaring a state of emergency on homelessness in California.
It means rapid rehousing. It means helping those who have mental health challenges. It means getting people off the streets, not shoveling them around the corner so that their dignity and worth is restored. After all, they are members of our community.
And the homeless have changed. We're not talking about just individuals now. We're talking about families. We're talking about little kids. This morning we were driving around my district in Skid Row. And there are little kids out there hungry without a home. This is inexcusable.
There are more than 100,000 homeless residents in California, more than in any state in the country. A good portion of them, almost 48,000, are homeless right here in LA County.
As long as there's somebody who's living in a car, somebody who's living in a tent, that is not our city of angels.
The state legislature has also passed the No Place Like Home program, which will pump close to $2 billion into fighting homelessness throughout the state. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
City leaders say in spite of the problems, they have made some progress on homelessness. They've set aside $138 million in the city budget this year to fight it, and they've quadrupled the number of outreach teams on the streets of Skid Row. They've also housed 6,000 war vets in the last 3 years. Well, if you've ever looked for an affordable apartment in LA, then you know how challenging it can be. Making matters even worse, the number of people moving to the city is outpacing available places to live, creating a housing crisis. Experts weighed in recently on what can be done to turn things around. Anna Marcos was there.
The bottom line is LA needs to build more housing. Market rate housing, affordable housing, shelters, supportive housing for the homeless, and it needs to happen fast.
In LA County, we're about 500,000 units short of what we need to meet the demand for affordable housing. We cannot stay in this deficit and expect that our city is going to continue to be livable.
The East Area Progressive Democrats put on this panel of housing experts to talk about the affordable housing crisis and what the group is calling high-rise development stress. Communities displaced or changed with high-rise development for which the city isn't even collecting development impact fees.
Now, we know that if those development impact fees were being collected at a more rigorous level, as they do with parking tickets, we would have some more revenue to do affordable housing development in the city.
Land costs and development costs are high, and incomes are relatively low compared to most communities in the state. So we get this kind of double whammy of badness.
Even the city's rent control is losing its teeth as LA continues to lose more and more of its affordable housing units. Any units built after 1978 aren't even covered under rent control, which means more and more of these rent-controlled units are falling off the market.
The rent burden makes a difference in how people live and what they can afford. When they're paying so much for rent, they can't afford medicine and food.
Meanwhile, high-rise luxury units run at a 12% vacancy rate, while affordable housing remains scarce.
I'm a huge fan of building affordable housing in any way that we can.
Organizers say the purpose of the panel wasn't to find solutions, but to begin to hammer out possible ideas and to hold government leaders accountable for what has become a full-blown housing crisis. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
You'll get a chance to vote on 2 housing ballot measures soon, the Build a Better LA measure on November 7th and the Neighborhood Integrity Initiative on March 7th. While the city reaches out to developers for ideas on the housing the homeless, small business owners get a lesson on growing their business by using city resources, and parking just got a lot easier for a popular multicultural destination. All these stories in City Beat. The city of Los Angeles is calling on developers to submit plans for building homeless housing at 8 city-owned properties. City leaders are looking to build more housing for the homeless as part of a larger plan to fight homelessness in Los Angeles, where about 27,000 people are thought to be living on the streets. City officials are asking affordable housing developers to submit proposals for what they believe can be done with the 8 properties. A small business workshop was held recently to help small business owners grow and prosper. The workshop, hosted by the LA Chamber of Commerce Small Business Council, focused on the business resources and opportunities available through the mayor's office. It also highlighted the new tools available through the city's new small business portal and startup guide. The business.lacity.org website offers everything from registering a new business to marketing techniques.
Governments have to know that you're there, and you have to know what's available to you, and there has to be some type of mechanism for that, and I think what the mayor is doing with this is absolutely in the right direction.
1 year after the groundbreaking, Plaza de la Raza's parking lot was officially unveiled to the public by the Department of Recreation and Parks and District 1 Councilmember Gil Cedillo. Situated in the heart of East Los Angeles in Lincoln Park, Plaza de la Raza Cultural Center for the Arts and Education is the only multicultural venue of its kind in the city. With 30 new parking stalls, new landscaping, lighting, and seating area, officials say the newly designed parking lot will improve accessibility and safety for those visiting the cultural center.
Now the community can utilize this without all the conflict and the drama and all the stress that was involved every time we came to an event.
LA has made great strides in going green and creating a more sustainable future for us all. And the Port of LA has played a big part in that transformation. Rasha Goel has more on the latest work being done and how the effort is helping advance Mayor Eric Garcetti's Sustainable City Plan.
The work may be happening at the port, but it affects all Angelenos. Zero emissions means cleaner air for all of us, and it's something that's been among the city's top priorities.
In the last decade, we've cut emissions at the port by half, more than half. And diesel particulate matter and other pollutants are down by more than 80%. That's an incredible thing.
Mayor Eric Garcetti continues to advance his Sustainable City Plan by recently appointing a 10-member Sustainable Freight Advisory Committee who will work together with port officials to advance sustainable growth and expand the use of zero-emission technology at the port.
By 2025, 15% of our goods movement trips should be zero emissions.
I'm looking forward to this group advising me on a large and wide-ranging series of issues, including how to accelerate the introduction of equipment that we know will help us meet our air quality goals and commitments.
In June of this year, the port announced the Pasha Green Omni Terminal project that will pilot various zero and near-zero emissions good movement technologies. The Green Omni Terminal is a solar-powered facility that will move goods from ships to the terminals to clean truck and rail transportation to their final destination.
Pasha will be the first marine terminal in the world capable of generating all of its energy from renewable sources in an emergency situation. This is groundbreaking work.
The terminal is being funded in part by a $14.5 million grant from the California Air Resources Board.
Today marks the beginning of a multi-source project that will help reduce pollution in communities near our ports. These communities are the most severely impacted by port activities, and they greatly need better air quality.
The aim is to improve health and quality of life for residents not only near the port, but also for everyone in Los Angeles. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
The port also announced a series of grants which will allow it to test 20 near-zero natural gas-powered tractors and 5 zero-emission plug-in battery tractors at the Everport Container Terminal. Well, remember what it was like as a kid during summer vacation? Well, there was nothing better. And if you got to go to summer camp, that was just the icing on the cake. And thanks to Camp Wesson, some kids in underserved neighborhoods got to experience just that, and at no cost to their parents. Gil Reyes reports.
Kids from the inner city excited to board the bus to summer camp. They're on their way to 3 days and 2 nights at Camp Wesson. This is Haley Smalls' third visit.
What I want to say is that more people should start coming here because this camp is one of the best camps in the world.
It's also a mini summer vacation for working moms like Haley's mom.
Yeah, give me a break. I have 3 days. I'm going to work hard today, but tomorrow I'm going to take a day off and do something for me.
Camp Wesson is the annual summer camp organized by LA City Council President Herb Wesson. It primarily serves families from disadvantaged areas in Central and South LA. It's for children who usually can't go to camp because of the high cost. But this camp is free. Shorts, shirts, swimming trunks, and food included.
The 10th year. I cannot believe that it has been so long. It's something that the staff here and I look forward to on a yearly basis. So we're excited. We're going to have 100 kids. We'll be up at Hansen Dam. They'll be staying in tents.
You're almost there. Keep going.
We catch up with the group at Hansen Dam later in the week. The rock climbing wall is a popular but difficult challenge. Hardly anyone makes it to the top on the first try. A life lesson for us all.
About never giving up, reaching your goals. And I'm today working with the climbing wall, which we stress about not giving up, continuing to try. And some of these kids are pretty good.
First try I did it, and then the second time I fell once and got back up and went back up there and touched the bell.
You got it. You got it.
I'm going to do it this time.
That's what you said?
Yes.
And you did it?
Yes, I did.
All right.
More fun awaits at the lake. Paddleboarding, kayaking, jet skis, towing kids for a tour of the lake. There's all sorts of splashing around.
I've been swimming in the pool for these past few days with my counselor and the other kids that I made friends with.
Belinda Gonzalez is good at making friends, but not so good at kayaking, at least not at first. She got better, though, by listening to her counselors. They taught her to rotate her torso while paddling and to practice.
I forgot that we didn't have to give up. We just had to try harder and harder.
And you did better the second time?
Yes.
Councilman Wesson wishes he had the same summer experiences when he was a kid.
I remember as a child, my mother not having the money to send me to camp. So she saved the money, but I had to be on the waiting list. And I had to sit there and watch a whole busload of kids leave because my name was never called. So I was determined to try to afford the kids in my community a free trip to camp.
The kids are in for another surprise when they arrive home. We'll have more on that on an upcoming episode. Reporting from Camp Wesson, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
And by the way, this year marks Camp Wesson's 10th anniversary. The community group known as Project Save has helped fund the camp for its 10 straight successful seasons. Well, you now have one more reason to visit the historic USS Iowa on the San Pedro Harbor. It now boasts a new museum. Anna Marcos takes us there for a look at naval history.
This retired battleship is more than just another tourist site. It provides a floating reminder of U.S. military might and power. And now on its 4th anniversary, it will give viewers a new window on naval history with the opening of its museum. One of the big draws, an exhibit on the explosion that killed 47 crew members in 1989 during a peacetime exercise.
You'll see some of the exact pieces of metal and steel that was actually crushed through compression and the pressure of the explosion.
But we also wanted to share the fact that gunnery has always been a dangerous business in the Navy.
The USS Iowa served 20 years in active service and 50 years in reserve service, navigating our country through World War II, the Korean War, and many other world events, both in wartime and peacetime.
This vessel was used to carry so many folks to help defend and to fight for our country.
These 360-degree panoramas allow visitors to see parts of the ship that aren't open to the public, like boiler rooms, engine rooms. And there's even a brig, which is kind of like a jail. If you were a bad soldier, you got slammed in here for 3 days with just bread and water.
Well, I know they're built for lots of things, so war. There's lots of people died in this ship for us, this generation.
The U.S. commissioned 49 battleships for war. Only 8 were saved. The USS Iowa is the last of those and the only remaining battleship on the continental West Coast, a piece of history in LA's own backyard. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
For more information and tours aboard the USS Iowa, visit pacificbattleship.com. Well, police and firefighters test their endurance in a brutal CrossFit workout. As Gil Reyes reports, it's all in the name of community relations.
3, 2, 1, go!
LA City police and firefighters push their bodies to the limit in a friendly but grueling competition. It's also a chance to offer safety tips to fans in the sidelines, like Briley Hara and her dad, Kyle.
I think it's also important that she has exposure to fire department and police department, so she knows who they are and she knows who to trust.
Look at these pull-ups. These ladies are staying on the pull-up bar.
First responders giving it their all in the Safe Summer CrossFit Challenge. It's LAFD versus LAPD in competitions like the dummy drag, kettlebells, box jumps, and tire flips. The agency with the most repetitions at the end of the contest wins.
They get right to work. No rest for these amazing athletes.
Who's for LAPD? Let me hear it. Who's for LAFD? That's pretty close.
Fire Chief Ralph Terrazas and Police Chief Charlie Beck team up for what's also a family safety fair at USC's Galen Center. Off to the side, this car wreck display shows kids the importance of not speeding and always wearing seatbelts. Pamphlets on pool safety are also handed out, all done in a fun, outdoorsy, sportsman-like environment.
Oftentimes, folks don't get to meet their police officers except for, in a stressful situation for both people involved. And so that's not a good way to start a relationship. The best way to start a relationship is through common activity, and that's what we're doing today.
In the end, LAPD wins it. Then again, everybody wins in events like this. At USC's Galen Center, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
To avenge the loss, Fire Chief Ralph Terrazas hopes to challenge the LAPD in a chili cook-off contest next year. Well, city leaders and the biggest name in tech are hoping to open a new window and a new perspective on some of LA's most pressing challenges. And it all starts with some creative thinking. Rasha Goel has more.
Yana, I'm here at Pico House in downtown Los Angeles, where the Information Technology Agency has partnered up with Google Innovation Labs to bring together 50 city leaders to discuss innovative solutions to some of the city's greatest problems. Through a 6-week series of 5 classes, Google Innovation Labs is giving city leaders the tools to better use its technology and data to help solve issues. City leaders are also given access to Google Enterprise apps along with experts for consultations.
Take that innovation, combine it with LA's key issues around homelessness, around a changing job force, around business development, and use Google X, Google Innovative Thinking, partnered with City Knowledge to try to really implement radical transformational solutions.
Several teams made of city leaders have come together to pick 5 hard challenges in our city to propose possible solutions.
The outcomes we're looking for here are some ideas for prototypes, whether they be new business processes, new technologies, real solutions for some of these problems, and opportunities to change the way the city works.
The City of Angels identified 5 issues: citizen engagement, preventing homelessness, workforce recruitment and development, public safety, and economic development. LAFD Chief Ralph Terrazas identified one of the key points his team is working on.
Well, number one is the ability to train the public on what our plan is for a natural disaster or a man-made disaster. So the general manager of EMD suggested that we focus on how to train the communities.
But training is just one piece of the puzzle. Getting you involved is another. By taking a more proactive approach in participating, the city says you will not only help Los Angeles, but yourself as well.
We want to have the best quality people delivering the best services to LA.
At the completion of the series, the teams will present their ideas and solutions for further evaluation. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
This series will be completed towards the end of August. Well, an Asian celebration centered around flowers brings people of all varieties together. Gil Reyes reports from the Lotus Festival in Echo Park.
Here is nature's sign that summer is in full bloom at Echo Park Lake. The lotus flowers have blossomed. Time for the annual Lotus Festival. It's a celebration of Asian Pacific Islander culture and so much more.
So we just thought we'd stop by. And also we're Asian, so we thought it'd be nice to come here and connect with our ethnic roots.
Everyone seems to be really engaged and into the whole idea of connecting back to an ethnic culture, so I think it's good for everyone.
The lotus flower is a symbol of life and rebirth in Asian culture. The festival is held every summer at Echo Park Lake, site of the largest lotus bed in the United States. And in Los Angeles, one of the most diverse cities, the event, filled with music and dance, has become all-inclusive, bringing people of all types together to celebrate summer.
Well, usually we go for bike rides down to Venice Beach, but we decided we wanted to do something different today, so we went on the internet and Googled events in Los Angeles, and this came up in the search.
This year, the festival pays special tribute to the Republic of Korea, hosting Komdo, or Korean martial arts demonstrations.
Well, every year, of course, there's a different Asian culture that the festival is celebrating, and so there's always a little bit of a difference every year. And then, of course, we've had the lake renewed over the last 5 years, 6 years. The lake was closed and then refurbished, and so it's beautiful now.
Cell phone video catches Echo Park's councilman Mitch O'Farrell and his staff competing in the Dragon Boat Race, a signature event.
And we finished the race in 6 minutes and 15 seconds, so not too bad. Yeah! Here's Team Mitch right here. Let's all be safe this summer. Let's love one another. Let's listen to one another. Let's respect one another, especially in this tough season with things the way they are out in the world and out in the country, with all these divisions. We can do a lot more just to come together, because at the end of the day, we have vastly more in common with one another.
While celebrating life. At the Lotus Festival, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
This was LA's 36th Lotus Festival. The event takes place every July. Well, if you're a Star Wars fan, then this trilogy will transport you once again to a galaxy far away. Enjoy a summer night out at an annual summer festival at the LA Zoo and a contest for aspiring radio producers. All this in this week's Things to Do.
Somewhere in space, this may all be happening right now.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's been 39 years since audiences first read those words on movie screens. 39 years since we first learned of the Force, of Jedi, lightsabers, X-Wings, and the Death Star. But even after all those years, the Force is still strong with all of us. This August, the Alamo Drafthouse will celebrate our love for the movie trilogy with rare digital screenings of the special edition versions of A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and The Return of the Jedi. It all begins on Saturday, August 6th at the Ace Hotel. Visit drafthouse.com for more. Brew at the LA Zoo returns for the summer, featuring more than 40 local craft and microbreweries, eclectic live music lineup, DJ Johnny Hawks dancing, pub-style grub, VIP lounge with food, specialty drinks, and early access. Zookeeper talks, up-close animal encounters, and visits to habitats. It all takes place Friday, August 5th from 7 to 11 p.m. at the Los Angeles Zoo and Botanical Gardens. For more, visit lazoo.com. KCRW's 4th annual 24-hour radio race is a whirlwind day of high-stakes radio making for producers of any experience level. You'll have 24 hours to write, record, and edit a nonfiction radio story based on a theme. There'll be prizes galore, including the opportunity to have your piece featured on KCRW's Unfictional. It's an opportunity to produce the most original, the most moving, the most inventive, the most unexpected piece of instant radio anyone will hear in 2016. This year's race will take place Saturday, August 6th to Sunday, August 7th. Register at kcrw.com/radio race between now and midnight of August 5th. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today.
Ever notice how we no longer focus our attention on one thing at a time? We don't just walk or even just drive. We focus on so many different objects, we don't notice the dangers ahead of us. We're a distracted society. We're blind to the importance of being safe, to the things that really matter. Blind to the things that could actually save our life. We're blind to everything surrounding us. Be aware. Move with care. Watch the road.
My name is Eric.
My name is May.
We are in Chinatown.
You're watching LA City View, Channel 35. Our city, our channel.
To council chambers. I do. Good morning. If I could ask everyone to take their seats, please take your seats. Today is Wednesday, August 3rd. I want to welcome you to the Los Angeles City Council. This council meets every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. The public is welcome. Mr. Clerk, we do have a quorum. Would you please call the roll?
Blumenfield, Bonner, Buscaino, Cedillo, Engler, Fuentes, Harris, Dawson, Weezer, Koretz, Krikorian, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rue, Wesson, 10 members present and a quorum. Mr. President.
Okay, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Blumenfield moves. Mr. Bonin seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Price moves and Ms. Martinez seconds. Next.
Mr. President, there is a request from the Office of Finance to continue items 2A and 2B to September 7th. Further, there are requests to continue items 1R, 1U, and 1V to October 11th.
Okay, so without objection, then that will be the order. Continue.
Very good, sir. Items 1 through 26 are items noticed for public hearing.
Do we have cards?
Yes, sir. Cards on 1, 5, and 10.
Let's hold those items and prepare to vote on the remaining items. Please open the roll. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Krikorian, did not see you.
So sorry. Could we continue item number 3 for 30 days, please?
Item 3, we will continue for 30 days. That would bring us to September 2nd, Mr. Clerk?
Yes, sir, September 2nd.
Okay, so without objection, that will be the order. Now let's prepare to vote on the remaining items. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
And, Mr. President, those ords will go over 1 week for a second read unless reconsidered later with 12 members.
Mr. O'Farrell?
If we could hold item 28 on the table, looking for an amendment to that item.
Item 28. Okay, let's hold item 28.
Thank you.
And we might as well hold 27 as well. And I thought I saw a note that said 36.
Yes, sir. 36 should be held for a motion. We're in items 27 through 36. There are items for which public hearings have been held are now before us. It should be noted that the Plum Committee has waived items 27, 28, and 36, and that motions are required.
Okay. So let us vote on the remaining. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, let us continue.
Mr. President, items 37 through 43 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, those items are now before this body. Do we have cards?
Yes, sir. Cards on items 37, 38, 41, and 42.
Okay, let's hold those items and prepare to vote on the remaining items. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13.
You know, Mr. Clerk, we do have, well, why don't we go on to the next section?
Very good. Item 44 is an item scheduled for closed session. Would you like to hold it on the desk?
I'm looking to Mr. Krikorian to get some guidance. Mr. Krikorian?
Thank you, Mr. President. This matter is a settlement. Budget and Finance recommends approval of the city attorney's recommendations. That can be done in open session unless members have questions or concerns.
Okay, let's take that item up now. You want to read the item, Mr. Clerk?
Yes, sir. For item 44, in the case entitled Travelers Commercial Insurance Company versus City of Los Angeles, there is a recommendation to expend $171,143 in settlement.
Okay, members, let's prepare to vote on that item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, we have over 12 members. You want to reconsider the ordinances?
Very good, sir. Those ords for reconsider would be items 4, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26.
Okay, so the first vote will be on reconsideration. Let's open the roll, Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, now we will actually vote on the items. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, that brings us where?
Mr. President, that brings council to presentations or items called special.
Okay, Mr. O'Farrell?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, item 32 forthwith, please.
Okay, so without objection, that'll be the order. Mr. Price, would you like to proceed with your presentation?
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, the August the 6th today is recognized as El Día del Salvadoriano in Los Angeles. This is the day where we celebrate El Salvador at the federal and also at the state and the local level. The largest concentration of Salvadorians outside their country is right here in Los Angeles. So it's fitting that San Salvador is a sister city to Los Angeles. El Salvador is a small country with a big heart and warm people. There's no denying the imprint of this tiny Central American region has made and will continue to make here and overseas. The Salvadorian is a part of the social, cultural, economic, and political fabric of Los Angeles and our nation. As we celebrate and commemorate El Día El Salvadoreño, I'd like to acknowledge the contribution of the Salvadorian American National Association, SANA, for being at the forefront of advocacy for this community and in leading efforts for this recognition at different levels of government. In partnership with SANA, my office will host a special event tomorrow at the California Science Center where with some of my friends who are with us today, we'll announce the findings of a study released by UCLA on the significance of Salvadorian diaspora for those living abroad and here in the U.S. This is a study that speaks directly to my folks living into the district, which is predominantly Latino, including many Salvadorianos. I am proud to be part of these efforts that encourage civic engagement and recognize the importance of our El Salvadorian brothers and sisters. With us today is Warner Marroquin, President of SANA, Sofia Cortez, the Executive Director, Guillermo Mendez, representing the Council General of El Salvador, and Salvadorian Congresswoman Katrina Sosa, President of the Commission of Salvadorians Abroad of the Legislative Assembly of El Salvador. Mr. President, with your permission, I'd like our guests just to say a few words. Our Congresswoman.
Muchas gracias. Buenos días, señor presidente y miembros del Consejo. Gracias por la oportunidad de dirigirme a ustedes esta mañana. Había tenido la oportunidad de estar en este lugar, pero no de compartir. Buenos días, señor presidente,
Good morning,
señores
Mr.
miembros
President
del Consejo.
and members of the council.
Gracias por la oportunidad de dirigirme a ustedes.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to address this system.
Participado de reuniones aquí anteriormente, pero no había tenido esta oportunidad.
I have participated in meetings here, but I have never had the opportunity to be before you guys.
En nombre de la Asamblea Legislativa, especialmente de la comisión que presido, que tiene que ver con los salvadoreños en el exterior.
And in the name of the Assembly of the Salvadoreños, especially the ones that are here abroad,
quiero agradecerles mucho este gesto que ustedes tienen esta mañana.
I want to thank you so much for the gesture that you have with us this morning.
De hacer un reconocimiento a una de las expresiones de organización de salvadoreños en esta ciudad.
To have an acknowledgement, special acknowledgement of all the Salvadoreños that live here in the city.
Pero sobre todo un reconocimiento justamente a lo que el concejal mencionaba, a toda esa entrega y aporte que la comunidad salvadoreña da a esta ciudad.
But especially all the recognition that the councilman was mentioning this morning, all the the love and the aportations that the Salvadorian people here in the United States bring to the American people.
Les comento que en mi país, en el territorio salvadoreño, somos poquito más de 6 millones de salvadoreños.
Let me tell you that in our country we are a little bit more than 6 million Salvadorians.
Y fuera del Salvador somos más de 3 millones de salvadoreños.
And outside of El Salvador, we're more than 3 million Salvadoreños.
La mayoría de los que están fuera viven en Estados Unidos.
The great majority of those ones that are abroad, they live here in the United States.
Y la mayoría de los que viven en Estados Unidos han decidido estar en el estado de California.
And the great majority of those that are living outside of El Salvador, they have decided to have California here as their home.
El apoyo que ustedes como funcionarios le den a nuestra comunidad es sumamente importante para nosotros como país y como funcionarios públicos.
The support that you provide to our citizens, it's very important for us as a country and as citizens.
Y por cierto, Los Ángeles ha sido la ciudad pionera en reconocer el esfuerzo de la comunidad salvadoreña y el aporte que se ha dado.
And the city of Los Angeles has been the city that has actually supported the great efforts of our Salvadorian compatriots.
Pues
here.
hace 18 años reconocieron justamente el Día del Salvadoreño Americano en el marco de la fiesta de nuestro patrono, el Salvador del Mundo.
Because about 18 years ago, they recognized the Day of the Salvadorian here in the States with the name of the patron.
Salvador del Mundo. ¿Cómo se llama? Salvador del Mundo.
Salvador del Mundo.
Posteriormente, tenemos ya 10 años de que este reconocimiento se ha extendido en otras ciudades de Estados Unidos para nuestra comunidad.
It's been now around 10 years that this acknowledgement has been extended through all other cities here in the United States.
Finalmente aprovecho la oportunidad de estar aquí ante ustedes y hacerles una atenta invitación.
And as well as I like to make an invitation to you
a que puedan conocer de cerca todos los avances que hay en nuestro país en materia legislativa y de políticas públicas.
And I make a special invitation to all of you to come to our country and to see all the advances that we have done from the legislation point of view.
Y que nos pueda acompañar a El Salvador una delegación de este lugar.
And I would like to see a delegation of this body to come to El Salvador to come and visit us.
Serán bienvenidos. Muchas gracias.
You will be really welcome. Thank you so much.
Tengan buenos días. Les damos las gracias en nombre de nuestra cónsul general, Mercedes López. Le damos las gracias por invitarnos a este recinto. Ya. Buenos días. Agradecerle a todo el Consejo Municipal, al presidente, por invitarnos este día.
Good morning. Thank you so much. I want to thank all the council members for having invited us today.
En nombre de nuestra cónsul general, les agradecemos esta invitación.
Our General Counsel, thank you so much for this invitation.
Reciban un saludo de parte de la tierra de Monseñor Oscar Arnulfo Romero.
Please, the land of Monsignor Oscar Romero Arnulfo, he sends all his glory to you.
Y creo que todos los que estamos acá reunidos este día queremos dar las gracias porque ese gesto es muy importante para nuestra comunidad.
And everybody that is here together wants to really thank you for this gesture, that this gesture is really important for all of us in our community.
Ya que en Los Ángeles se encuentra la mayoría de nuestros compatriotas residiendo.
Because in Los Angeles, right here is where all our citizens are here residing.
Y creo que este reconocimiento que hoy se da a las organizaciones, a SANA, renueva los lazos de amor y de amistad que podamos tener los salvadoreños.
And I think that all the acknowledgement that we are giving to organizations like Osana, it shows all the appreciation that our citizens and the city has for us.
La calidez que tenemos los salvadoreños y el humanismo nos hace que ahora nosotros estemos aquí con ustedes.
The warmth that the Salvadorian people have is what makes us come here to join you in this party.
En nombre del consulado, reciban un saludo de nuestro presidente de la República.
The consulate sends you a great warm welcomes, the president of the country.
El profesor Salvador Sánchez Serén.
The professor Sánchez Serén.
y los invitamos a que puedan visitar El Salvador.
And we invite you to come to El Salvador to visit us.
A celebrar las felices fiestas que hoy también en la comunidad en Los Ángeles es parte de esa festividad.
To celebrate with us, to join with us the festivities that is part of the community of Los Angeles as well.
Que vive El Salvador del mundo.
And Salvador, the country of the world.
Thank you, and please give the Consul General our regards.
Yes,
Next
let's
up,
give a big round of applause. Thank you very much.
just finally, Mr. President, we'd like to present Guillermo, we're going to present Warner Baraquin, the President of SANA.
Good morning. Buenos días. Un saludo al señor presidente, al Consejo Municipal, al señor Curran Price for opening us this space. We are celebrating the 18th anniversary of El Día del Salvadoreño, a decision that it was a visionary decision that it was taken in this body 18 years ago. So after the city of Los Angeles took this initiative, many cities and states across the country are also recognizing that we, the Salvadorian community, exist. I also want to recognize the historical contribution that Mr. Gilbert Cedillo has given to the Salvadorian community to make this possible when he was at the State Assembly. I want to recognize that as one of the founders of El Día del Salvadoreño en SANA. Some of our founders are not here today with us, but in our minds and our hearts are here. Chabelita, one of the founders, Salvador, another one, and Mario Fuente Rivas, and me were able to put this initiative together. So the Salvadorian community is an intrinsic part of this city. It is also an intrinsic part of this nation. According to the census, our community is reaching about 2.6 million Salvadoreños across the United States, and as somebody previously say, we are concentrated in the Los Angeles County. So majority of Salvadorian, which is the third of our population living outside El Salvador, lives here in Los Angeles. So I want to again express my deepest thanks. I want to recognize the leadership of the Salvadorian American community that is here, Ballet Salvadoreño de Asosal, different public officials, the mayor from San Salvador that is here with us, from the city of Nejapa. We have other expression of the Salvadorian government here. I want to thank the Salvadorian consulate for being here, President Diputada Karina Sosa for also accompanying this community that is every time more connected to the Salvador livelihood, contributing economically the third, almost the 20% of the gross product internal in El Salvador goes through the multiple ways that the Salvadorian community support El Salvador. So once again, thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you, members. Again, we're here to celebrate. Let's have a hand of applause for our friends from El Salvador on El Día del Salvadoreño. Say, Gil, why don't you join us for the picture?
Yes, please, Mr. Cedillo.
Before the picture, let me just say a few words. This weekend, we are going to celebrate this great day on Venice and Vermont. Vamos a tener una día de unas fiestas. Hola, ¿cómo está? Qué gusto. Tengo buenas memorias de la cena en Boyle Heights, en la Serenata de Garibaldi. Quiero decir que nosotros vamos a tener una fiesta este fin de semana aquí en mi distrito número 1, a la frontera con mi colega Curran Price. Vamos a celebrar el día de fiestas agustinas, Día de Salvadoreño, aquí en Venice y entre Venice y Vermont y Normandy. Y también en mi distrito tenemos estatua de el Monseñor Oscar Romero. La presencia de la comunidad salvadoreña empieza en los fines de las 70s, en las 80s, Tenemos una gran historia en este área, en mi distrito. Mucha riqueza de la participación de todos los salvadoreños a todos los niveles. Ellos vienen como todos los migrantes que vienen aquí a Los Ángeles para buscar sus sueños y para mejorar una vida por su familia, por sus hijos y por un mejor futuro. The history of the Salvadoran community is long in our district. We share these borders, my colleague and I, and my colleague, Mr. O'Farrell. We share these borders in which the Salvadoran community has a rich presence dating back to the end of the 70s, through the 80s and the 90s. A rich presence, many entrepreneurs, many people, like all immigrants who come to this great city seeking their dreams and their aspirations, not for themselves, but mostly for their children, for their family, and for a better future. And I think it's most appropriate that these events are happening now, when the debate about the question of immigrants as the American experience, as the American project is taking place, when the idiocy that is proclaimed through the candidacy of Donald Trump gets articulated each and every day, it's important for us to demonstrate that this is in fact the American experience that will continue to revitalize what it is to be an American, what it is to be part of this country, how this country is uniquely a country of immigrants, not just historically and not just today, but actually for its future. And so I welcome you. I look forward to seeing all of you this weekend, Sunday at the event, and continue to see each and all of you every day, because the entrepreneurial spirit of the Salvadoran has made its mark and impression on our city. I welcome you. Thank you. Now, hold on.
All right, thank you for that. And Councilmember Huizar has a special introduction as well.
Thank you, Mr. President. And as we transition from one presentation to another, I'd love to take this opportunity to recognize some very special guests here with us today who come all the way from our sister city, Nagoya, Japan. This summer, let's give them a big round of applause. Where are they? You could ask them to please, there you are, in the back here. They are here with an exchange program, and this summer the City of Los Angeles Sister City Nagoya affiliate is hosting exchange students from Japan. This program is very exciting as it gives students in Los Angeles the opportunity to travel to Japan and experience Japanese culture, and allows us to host students from Japan here in our great city. I would like to welcome these extraordinary students and thank Teruko Weinberg for helping make this a reality. Thank you so much. I would like to also recognize Mr. Dixon Perry, the chair of the Los Angeles Nagoya Sister City Affiliation Student Committee, as well as the program's Los Angeles chaperone, Miss Erica Lopez, and the Nagoya chaperone, Miss Fumi Kuga. Let's give them a round of applause and welcome them to the City of Los Angeles. Welcome, and thank you for your work.
Thank you so much for that. And now we have a presentation from Councilmember Krikorian. And while he's coming up, I know Councilmember Price has something to add as well while Mr. Krikorian is taking the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, we're always talking about our youth and what they aren't doing and how they can do things better. We're just happy to celebrate a group of youth from the 9th District that have been celebrating an entrepreneurial program. Mr. Krikorian, I'm just cutting in on you here.
No, please.
But we've got students from 16 to 18 from Jefferson, Augustus Hawkins, Ortho, the Accelerator Schools, Dimely, and Mohan. Can you stand up, students?
All right, let's give them a big round of applause. Thanks for coming down and visiting us today at Council Chambers.
This week, they've embarked on a business development journey of discovery and exposure to several industries, including technology, energy and water, sustainability, construction, video game development. And for many, it's their first trip to City Hall, and so we welcome them. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Price. That's actually a perfect transition because I'm very proud to be able to be here with you members with the some of the best and the brightest of the next generation in CD2 as well. And Mr. President, thanks in large measure to your inspiration with your creation of your E12 program and also our former colleague Richard Alarcon with his Young Senators program, and I know a number of other members have launched similar programs. Last April, our office launched a Youth Leadership Academy, a brand new civic engagement program for high school students who are interested in local government. It was a very demanding process of selection. We had a tremendous number of young people who were interested in getting involved in this, and the 5 who were selected are here with me today. These are 5 extremely talented high school students who either go to school in or reside in CD2, and they've just completed a 7-week course which was designed as kind of a Civics 101 to provide a basic foundational understanding of the way our city works, of the way government works, of the way people get things done. Their 7-week course included visiting many city departments, touring many city facilities, nonprofit organizations, and others that serve people in and around the 2nd District. They learned a great deal about the history of the San Fernando Valley. They learned about some of the challenges that we're struggling with right now in addressing homelessness and crime. I think they had a very eye-opening experience when they realized that we had to do all these things with limited resources and figuring out how to budget for priorities for the things that we get done. And I hope and I expect that it was a meaningful and important experience, and I equally hope and expect that you'll be seeing a lot of these 5 people in the future as they make significant contributions to the future of our city. So I'd like to take just a moment to introduce each of them. First, Sheikh Gibran will begin his junior year at Oakwood Secondary School in Valley Village this fall. He's very active in the community with lots of volunteer and leadership work, including being president of the Oakwood chapter of Junior Statesmen of America, president and coordinator of the Little Bangladesh Youth Group, and founder and president of the Global Youth Leadership Organization. So I'd like to present Sheikh with this certificate and congratulate you on completion of the program. Ella Pallenberg will begin her senior year at Campbell Hall. She's active on campus with the school newspaper. She plays varsity soccer, and off campus she's a board member of the Hollywood Youth Temple, a volunteer at Jewish Family Services Sova Food Pantry, and she's a reporter for the Temple Israel of Hollywood newsletter. Ella, congratulations. Wilder Short will begin his junior year at Harvard Westlake, where he transferred from Grant High School. He was elected class prefect by his peers at Harvard Westlake for the coming year. He's a volunteer at USC's Camp Kesem, which is a group that provides support for children who are between the ages of 6 and 16 whose parents are struggling with a battle against cancer. So Wilder, congratulations to you on completion of the program. Ivan Bermudez will begin his junior year at North Hollywood High School, highly gifted magnet. He's been involved with the YMCA Model Legislature and Model United Nations in a number of different capacities for many years. He's also an avid artist and enjoys writing and playing the guitar. Ivan, congratulations. And finally, Isabel Zavian will begin her junior year at AGBU Manugyan Demerjian School. She's active on campuses as the public relations officer on the student council, journalism and yearbook, as well as conducting annual Earth Day events. Off campus, she's a volunteer at the High Summer Camp in Central California. And get this, she wrote a book about water conservation. So Isabel is already an author at this tender age. I know that she and all of them will be making immense contributions to the future of our city as well. Isabel, congratulations. Thank you very much, Mr. President. All right, why don't we come on?
All right, let's give them another round of applause. And to Mr. Krikorian, I know your staff probably deserves a lot of applause for helping to put it together as well. As I want to thank them too. So a terrific program. With that, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. Bonin.
While we're spending so much time this morning acknowledging incredible young people from the city of Los Angeles, I'd like to acknowledge 4 of my interns who are here with us today. If they could stand up. With me is Harrison Feynman, Noah Fleischman, Naomi Barlava, and Alfonso Directo Jr. I just want to thank them for everything they've been doing this summer. Thanks.
All right, with that, we're going to go ahead and turn our attention back over to the agenda and take item number 27. Mr. Clerk, if you can read that into the record.
Can I take a photo with him?
Very good, Mr. President. That's item 27, called Special for Cards.
We'll turn it over first. Mr. Weezer, do you want to open or do you want to take cards first?
First, and then we'll get cards if that's okay with you, Mr. President.
You got it.
Colleagues, we have before us a very special item, and that is the appointment and recommendation from our mayor for the appointment of our new general manager for the Building and Safety Department. And as you all know, this department is busy making sure that we have the quality of life that we'd like to see in the city of Los Angeles. And with the departure of our retirement of our current general manager, Ray Chan, there was an obvious choice that when the name came up, no one seemed to question it, and everybody was thrilled that this would be the case. And I'm very thrilled as well that the mayor has recommended Mr. Frank Bush to be the next general manager of the Building and Safety Department. Currently, Mr. Bush oversees all building and safety operations, which includes approximately 1,000 employees, and has significantly improved the type and quality of customer services offered by the department. His leadership and commitment has awarded the department with several mayoral civic innovation awards and many other prestigious industry recognitions. You have some big shoes to fill, Mr. Bush. Where's Ray? Ray, do you have big... Ray, is he here? No. Okay. He's always working. But you have some big shoes to fill. Ray Chan has done a marvelous job as well, getting the department up to the needs of today. And you are one of the busiest departments. A lot is demanded of you. But when I first got elected, you were one of the first general managers, first people from Building and Safety who come talk to me and say, anything you need, let us know. And when we've had from the biggest to the smallest issues in our district, you've been responsive, and we really appreciate that. I'm really thrilled about this recommendation. And if you could come up here to the table, please. And if you
actually, let's not do that yet. Let's wait till after we go through. We have a number of cards, so if we could hold off till
after the cards, and then we'll get.
So he's not sitting up there the whole time, right?
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much, and colleagues, I ask for your aye vote on this very important item before us today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to go ahead, actually turn it over to cards, then we'll turn it over to members and have Mr. Bush come up to the table as well. So with that first. Okay, Armando Herman. 1 minute, please.
Well, Mr. Chair, as you may know, that during the mayor and the City Ethics Commission, we have good reason to bring Frank Bush into this recommendation. Although I don't know him personally, but I've seen him thousands of times here in meetings, my suggestion to you is pay him very well and give him full benefits, full participation in city benefits so he and his family can have a beautiful retirement, and I can enjoy the fact that I participated in giving this recommendation for this fine gentleman and his family. So, Dibble Dwarf, thank you for the 1 minute, and I wave the balance of my time back to you, Dwarf.
Mr. Hunt. You're here? Okay. Adrienne Buchanan.
Morning. I see I have 1
Morning.
minute, so let me talk fast. How you doing, everyone? My name is Agent Buchanan. I'm ASME Local 3090 Secretary and an employee in Building and Safety. Frank Bush is the right person to lead the Department of Building and Safety because he will make the right decisions for the constituents, city workers, and keeping the building safe in Los Angeles. Whenever ASME needs to meet with management, Frank never hesitates to make himself and his management team available to meet with labor. As a matter of fact, we have a meeting in about 2 weeks. Frank understands the importance of maintaining management-labor relationships and relationships with all parties that involve help keeping the building safe in City of L.A. for everyone to work, live, play in the City of L.A., which is why I know 100% that Frank Bush is the right person to be the next general manager for our beautiful department, Building and Safety.
Adam Lane, followed by Karen with MCIA.
Good morning, council members.
Morning.
My name is Adam Lane. I'm the legislative director with LABC. I'm glad to be here today on behalf of our over 150 member businesses and organizations to enthusiastically support the appointment of Mr. Frank Bush as permanent general manager of the department. At the beginning of this year, we sent a letter of support nominating the department for the California Building Officials Department of the Year Award, and that's in no small part because of the leadership of Frank and now Deputy Mayor Chan. We've had a close working relationship from inspection case management to streamlining the permitting process for our renewable energy programs in the city. The department has always been open to the business community and taking input, and we view Frank and the department as trusted partners in improving the lives of Angelenos, whether through increased housing development, job creation, or economic prosperity. As such, we enthusiastically support the appointment of Mr. Frank Bush as permanent general manager of the department.
Great, thank you. Karen. Followed by Jay, the pipes.
Hi, my name is Karen Izumi, and I'm the Vice President of MCIA, which is the Municipal Construction Inspectors Association, and we represent 850 inspectors throughout the city of Los Angeles. I am a senior fire sprinkler inspector for the Building and Safety, and I'm here to show my support for Frank in his appointment to General Manager. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Jay Chase. Followed by Fred Valderrama.
My name is Jay Chase. I'm here on behalf of PIPE, which represents the plumbers and pipe fitters that build and construct the city of Los Angeles. We want to give our voice for the approval for Frank Bush and to continue the with continuity of what Ray Chan has set in place. As a plumbing contractor who's pulled more plumbing permits for the last 30 years than anyone else, I want to applaud LADBS and all that they do. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Members of City Council, it's my honor to be here today to express support for Frank Bush. Anything to get him out of code enforcement would be great. You're tough, sorry. But as a general manager of Building Safety, I'm sure he'll do a great job, thank God. And he'll work hard. He's one of the guys I know worked very hard. He came through the ranks, and he's done a lot for the city. And with his strong leadership skills and his attention to details, he'll do a great job. Congratulations, Frank.
Great, thank you. Christine with BIA. Christine Rangel.
Good morning, honorable council members. My name is Christine Rangel from the Building Industry Association, and we'd just like to say that We are very supportive of Mr. Bush's appointment. In our working with him over the past few years, he's been extremely responsive, and he's tried making things very efficient and effective for the builders who are building here in Los Angeles while still protecting the interests of the city. And he's always been open to discussion and always been very innovative in looking into how to improve systems, make things more efficient. And we truly appreciate that, and we look forward to continuing that good working relationship with him and the rest of Building and Safety. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the public comment cards. I'll turn it back over to Mr. Huizar and ask Mr. Bush to please come up to the table.
Yes, I thought we'd give Mr. Bush an opportunity just to share a few words with us, if you will. And also, I see you have some family members here, possibly. You could introduce them as well. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am blessed, honored, and humbled to be here and with this appointment from the mayor and for your consideration this morning. I've been with the department, with the city for 27 years now. I'm a lifelong Angelino. The Department of Building and Safety has made some great changes and steps forward in the last few years. For myself, I have to thank my incredible wife, Judy, that is here, and for her support and encouragement in my service to the city and to communities. Also, my great family that is here, my 4 kids, their spouses, and 9 grandkids, and 1 in the oven. So they're here, and our also see pastor has attended from our church, Phil Roberts. We appreciate that. But I just wanted to tell you that the department has made some great strides, and we are really changing the customer service in the city in our department, and we are reaching out to all the other departments within the city that we work with and trying to be forming partnerships with them. It is really working out great for the customers. The customers appreciate it. It helps the development. It's from big developers down to homeowners coming in to get permits with our concierge services and all the services that we provide. I don't want to take up a lot of time. I've worked with all of you here at this table. My commitment is here to the city. As I mentioned, I'm a lifelong Angelino, and am looking forward to the challenges. I'm up to the task, and I will not let you down.
Thank you. Mr. Blumenfield.
Frank, I saw you last night at the National Night Out. Not unusual for you to be out in the community. And I told you then you don't have my vote. You have my enthusiastic vote, because I'm really excited about you being there for so many reasons. I mean, you show up to things. You do the great work in the department, but you don't stop there. Not too long ago, the Building and Safety Town Hall we did in the district, you were there for it. I think you may be the only general manager that is actually living in the 3rd district. There may be one other, I'm not sure. But that also, to me, is really important for a variety of reasons, especially building and safety reasons. Folks are always thinking that, the Valley has a different perspective, and it's not necessarily understood, but you've always been there. You do understand that perspective. So I just wanted to add my voice to the chorus and just tell you I'm excited about it. I know your family is here, and they should be excited about it. You've been an amazing asset for this city, and we're counting on you, and we appreciate you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Koretz.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have to say, when I heard that Ray Chan was leaving as the GM of this department, I was devastated, because Ray has been so responsive, not only to the community and to the building community, but to council offices. And then I heard that Frank was going to take his place, and I was very excited, because you are essentially the exact same mode. And I know Ray has mentored you, but you are terrifically responsible to council. Thank God you're still going to be there. You're very responsive to everybody else that's a stakeholder. I don't know what we would do without having you in this position. I'm so relieved and so excited that you're going to be here. I think this is the culmination of 27 years of great service to the city. And I just thank you for your willingness to take on this position. Thank you.
Mr. O'Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Frank, I couldn't be more thrilled with this appointment. The 13th district that I represent, you've long been the troubleshooter that I've always gone to back for the past, I want to say 14, 15 years now. When we had a dilemma in the district that didn't fit into any category, it was always give Frank a call, and I would say, can you meet me in 20 minutes at this address? And you would always do that, and we would together on site figure out an approach to a problem that there was not an easy solution to. So I've always appreciated, just in the field, your pragmatic approach to solving problems, and I think you'll bring that sensibility to bear in your new role as general manager, and it's really good for the city. We face daunting challenges. The department, which really has been largely reformed under Ray Chan's watch, I have every confidence will continue under your watch, finding creative solutions for the challenges that face not just your department, is reaping dividends in other departments. That's how influential and how highly functional the Department of Building and Safety is now because of people like you. And so I couldn't be happier that a lifer moves to the top and runs this department. We're in really good hands, and my staff and I cannot wait to work with you to continue moving things forward for the city of LA and the 13th district. Congratulations, Frank, and congratulations to your wonderful family.
Mr. Rue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to express my full support for the appointment of Mr. Frank Bush as permanent general manager of the Department of Building and Safety. And, I just want to concur with all my colleagues. I have nothing but praises. I mean, when we call your offices, you personally call back. You personally get involved. You personally come out. And you not only bring a wealth of institutional knowledge, but you're also strong on leadership and experience. And Ray Chan set a real high bar. But the fact that we're going to have such a smooth transition, now is not the time to do something new or daring. It's about making sure that we maintain all the great things that's been instituted and move forward. And you're qualified. And in fact, the best thing about you, and I think it was alluded by some of these speakers earlier, is that I believe you are the first person that I'm aware of that have started the department's enforcement division, which is highly sorely much needed in my district. That will be promoted to the general manager. And most importantly, Frank, you've demonstrated to our communities that you understand how to play by the rules and to ensure that a fair playing field for all. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Martinez.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. So I, too, when I heard that you were going to be promoted to general manager, Frank, I was devastated. But devastated because I've always known you as a Valley guy. And for me, that's very important. I've been here for 3 years now. And there hasn't been a time since I've been in office that we haven't called you personally, that you haven't, you never come back with an issue's too complicated to solve, or, we can't do this, we can't do that. You're a problem solver. You solve problems and you get the job done. And I cannot believe the amount of people that are here in support of you and what an extraordinary job you've done for the department. And I've said this to you the other night when we were leaving an event. I said, you have my full support to become general manager of the department, and I do not say that about a lot of people. So I am just honored that not only have you done a remarkable job servicing my district in the Valley, but we've become friends. And I'm just so proud of you. You are an example of what a city employee is, and I have no doubt that you will lead by example. as the General Manager of Building and Safety. Congratulations to you and to your family, and congratulations to your son. I had no idea he serves on our LAPD. He's a police officer. Stand up. Yay. Congratulations.
And Councilmember Krikorian.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I guess if ever there were a non-controversial decision we would have to make, this should probably be it. As I look back over the last 6 years, I can remember very well how badly decimated building and safety was in the Great Recession. And as we went through the really devastating budget cuts, there was no way that the work that needed to get done could be done with the resources that building and safety had left because of personnel losses and so forth. And at the same time, demand was spiking. People weren't building things, so a lot of the fees weren't coming in, but there was a lot of demand because of foreclosures and abandoned properties and so on. There's a much greater demand for services during the Great Recession. And yet, under Ray Chan's leadership, with you centrally involved right by his side, this department really set the standard, I think, of figuring it out. And despite all those devastating cuts, it would be very easy to say, well, gee, I'm sorry, council member, we can't do that because we just don't have the people. And I never, and I don't think any of my colleagues have ever heard that response from Frank Bush or from Ray Chan. It's always, let's figure out how to get it done. And to me, that's what government should be all about. And I shared Mr. Koretz's excitement and fear when I heard about Ray's appointment within the mayor's office, because he has been a model general manager that I think other general managers should follow the lead of. And I feared his loss at Building and Safety, because this is a department that delivers public safety. It delivers quality of life in our neighborhoods. It delivers economic development and jobs that keeps our economy going. So in so many areas that are important to our city, building and safety and the men and women who work in this department deliver the most essential services that we have. And I feared what would happen, but clearly there was only one person who would be able to fill that position, and that's Frank Bush. And I am so thrilled to be able to congratulate you, look forward to continuing to work with you and helping to build the future of Los Angeles.
Thank you.
Councilmember Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too want to rise and say how excited we are with your appointment. I'm just a little miffed, though. I thought it was just the 9th district you were taking care of. I know you respond to everybody like
I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place.
But seriously, I think it does underscore your commitment to this city, to the people. As my colleague pointed out, building and safety is a quality of life. It's a quality of life issue, especially in all parts of town, especially in many parts of town. So we just appreciate, Frank, your leadership, your ability to help us get the problem solved. We know that you are a real architect of the Concierge program, and that's been an outstanding success from developers, homeowners, organizations are all very excited about the new level of customer service that we have at Building Safety. And so we appreciate your leadership in making that happen and your continued leadership at the helm. We're excited for your appointment, and we congratulate you and the family on your outstanding achievements, and we look forward to even greater achievements in the future. Thank you, Frank.
Councilmember Bonin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Frank, people usually don't get accolades like this while they're still alive. Savor this.
That's true.
And it probably won't be this warm next time you're sitting at the table in front of us. I want to join the chorus of thank yous for you. You've heard a lot today about how elected officials think of you and how highly we regard you. But I wanted to make a note about how staff thinks of you. I've heard since the appointment how enthusiastic building and safety staff are about this promotion for you. And that says a lot. That says a hell of a lot. But I've also heard from my own staff about how enthusiastic they are about this.
Thank you.
Sometimes in the district offices, staffers can have a hard time getting someone senior or getting someone with clout from a different department. And sometimes they'll say, we need the chief of staff, we need the council member to call. I have never once had my staff say that about building and safety or about you. My staff describe you in the following terms: kind, generous, always available. And I think that is a huge credit to who you are and the kind of leadership that you display. And I hope that you can spread that throughout not just your department but the city. I also want to echo what Mr. Roos said and thank you for your work on enforcement. Without the departments actually making real the rules that we make, we're just empty suits. I mean, we really need what you've been doing in the department, and I hope you continue to do that and make it stronger. So thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Councilmember Buscaino.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't know, Frank, I don't know if you have enough votes here for this appointment based on what I'm gathering. Congratulations. Thank you so much for your ongoing commitment to the city and now as general manager to an incredible department. If I was to give an award to Get to Yes Award, it'd be you. In your leadership role in working for the department in a time where my district is emerging with a number of development opportunities and projects, you were so instrumental in getting these projects on the ground and getting to yes. So I really appreciate that. I just want to shift. I know Mike focused on and mentioned the department building safety employees. But to those employees who are here, please stand. I want you to recognize how many people are here in support. Or if you're already standing, please raise your hand. So Department Building and Safety, please be recognized. And Frank, they're all here because how much they value your work and how much they respect you. How much they respect you as a leader and even more so now as a general manager. So that's just a testament of the work that you do day in and day out and the people, your foot soldiers who are out there embracing the work that you do and really appreciate all that you do, and congratulations on this appointment. Look forward to working with you and look forward to getting to yes on a number of projects, specifically on the LA waterfront and the San Pedro and Watts communities. So thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Councilmember Wesson.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. I rise to say that being a public servant is a very challenging job, period. Sometimes it's thankless. We have some phenomenal workers that hold this city together, and we have some great general managers, and it is without pause or hesitation that I say that without missing a beat that Ray Chan was one of the best that we had. And just like so many members around this horseshoe said, that they will miss Ray. But also, so many of us recognize how important it is to have a team that supports you, to have a great staff, and to have a leader of that staff. And that individual is you. And so, even though we believe that Ray did a great job, it is without hesitation that we know that you will as well. And building and safety, your challenges are unique and different when you compare other departments. And to hear other members get up and talk about, you guys want to be the yes office. You guys try to work to a point where we can get to that yes. Because the better that you do your job, the better it is for the 15 of us that and the mayor that sit around this horseshoe. We are only as good as the staff that we surround ourselves with. And we are unbelievably fortunate to have you to step in and take over for a guy that was a great guy. And I believe that you will even be better because Ray spent the time to make sure that you would be better. So, Ray, I thank you for affording this young man the opportunity to learn and to grow and to do everything that your department does. So it is with great pride that I rise to say that I cannot wait to vote yes for your appointment.
Thank you.
Seeing no other members, and before I open the roll, let me just on a personal note, everything that has been said was said, but nobody was listening, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat it all. Frank, you were one of the first ones that I had met when I started working for the city of Los Angeles out in the Valley, and you and I had worked on a lot of task forces together and a lot of issues together, and I had no idea all these years you were actually really, as Mr. Price said, working with any of the other council offices. I had no idea because you are incredibly responsive, and as your entire staff is as well. But before we do open the roll and vote on our next general manager for building and safety, I do want to give a special accolade and shout out to Mr. Ray Chan. When one of the other issues, and I know Mr. Krikorian really shed a lot of light on this, the department was decimated, and it's one of the most critical backbone departments and essential functions of what we do economically, from a public safety perspective, of everything. And it was in shambles until you took over. And you surrounded yourself with smart people as well, which we all believe in, as Mr. Wesson said, we all have to do and shall do and should do, which you did with Frank and many others. And one of the things that I've said about you, Ray, and I'm going to point out the same thing about Frank, is one thing, everybody is throwing out a lot of positive remarks and wonderful things. And as Mike said, this may be the last time that happens while you're sitting at this table. I will point out one of your weaknesses. The fact that we can't clone you and make you a general manager of other departments is a problem. You really set an example, and you've done that from the beginning. And it's an honor and a privilege to say that you're a friend, that I've had the ability to work with you personally and really get to know you and your family and take surprise pictures with your son. We run into each other at baseball games and text them to you. You are an incredible person and human being and family member and family man, a husband, a father, a grandfather, somebody who has really done an incredible job at full circle in their life. And for no other reason, because you're wholesome and honest and ethical, beyond being responsive and a great manager and now to be general manager, you're a good person.
Thank you.
And I respect you a great deal.
Thank you.
Please open the roll. Close the roll. And tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Congratulations to our new general manager, Frank Bush, Building and Safety. Since everybody wants a picture, let's go ahead and move the chairs away from the front and all gather around. We've got all members in the chambers. Let's put Frank in the chair in the middle and take a picture. We'll take a time out of council for a moment. righty, we're going to go ahead and if we can clear the council floor, we're going to, not chambers, just the floor. We're going to go ahead and return our attention to the agenda on item 28.
And Mr. President, for item 28, amending motion 28A, O'Farrell Weezer has been circulated and posted and is now before council for consideration.
All right, Wanakala. Juan Acala, last call. I called you the first time.
I can't hear you. Your voice is too...
Okay, stay on the item.
What item? 28? You're going to build more of those stupid housing projects? Why don't you let people be? All you do is give the money to the developers, and the developers give some money back to you so you can build your nice little whatever you're building over there. Only 1 minute on this item? I don't care. That's enough for me.
Stay on the item. You're not on the item. You're talking about the clock, not the item. So
well, the
28.
clock. The clock says ticky-tock.
Okay, thank you very much. Your time's up. Armando, on 28.
Well, I brought Pepita to speak. Good evening, everybody. We're talking about the Los Angeles City Planning Commission, other name as PLUM. PLUM was canceled yesterday, so this item was under consideration for today. See? Pigs have mouths like bacon, and we smell good when we talk about 6th Street and 530 and 537 Vigil. You see, everybody, pigs can speak in public comment for 1 fucking minute too. So there's nothing wrong with kids enjoying our public comment, right, kids? It's funny. So we come here to ask for a declaration to mitigate for the homo bitch over there. Yeah, you bitch.
He is not talking about this item.
All right, your time's up. Thank you very much. You're not talking about the subject, so. Oh, Wayne? You need to indicate your proper name on the cards. We're not going to call you up anymore. So I'm just telling you that right now. You got to write down at least a name, not just...
I put down dummy, which is under the Brown Act.
So you got to put down a name so I know who to recognize. So thank you very much.
That an anonymous name can be used, Mr. City Attorney.
That's not an anonymous name. It's not a name. So you can
I'm
use a
allowed
name.
to put any name I want on the card to
All right, go ahead
identify
and
the
speak.
speaker.
Speak to the
Mr.
item.
City Attorney, please.
Speak to the item. Your clock
May
has
I have
started.
a ruling, Mr. City Attorney? Okay. He's violating the Brown Act again. It's 2 complaints already this week. Now, is Kanabi, Englander,
You're not on the
Kanabi,
item.
and Allen raising funds for the councilman for CD 13, and what we want to know is, have they lobbied on this issue? If they have lobbied on this issue, as well as raising election funds and campaign funds for CD 13, the Ethics Commission requires a disclosure under the reports for community impact statements and financial disclosures. And I don't see a damn thing about it. So I'd like to know, with $942,000 of lobbying in 3 months, who's buying this goddamn project, and please disclose it. We just want to know.
That concludes all the cards. Please have a seat. Don't stand in the aisles or it's disrupting the meeting. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Those are all the cards on this item. So please have a seat. Okay, and we'll go ahead now and open the roll. on 28. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
14 eyes.
All right, item 36.
And Mr. President, for item 36, amending motion 36A, Weezar O'Farrell has been submitted and circulated for council's consideration.
Great, thank you very much. Okay. Wayne, item 36.
Thank you. For the record, it's the dummy returns. So now the pig will address this council regarding this issue. And the 36, in Spanish it's 36, para las personas de El Salvador, en mi en español, en Distrito 14, no, en 1410, hay un gangster, pero en CD4 es uno coreano muy bien. So tiene moción bueno. Está muy bueno. Los puercos no quieren los grandes casas. Los puercos quieren poquito casas. Yo tiene mucho sostenimiento por esta moción. Gracias, señor.
Monicala, item 36.
Item 26, continued consideration.
36.
Oh, 36? Holy, my hearing is going. I pass. I did my time, right? I pass.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Are you done speaking on the item? Thank you. Thank you very much. Seeing no other cards on this item, we'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
14 eyes.
Okay, Wayne on 37. Followed by John Walsh.
Yes, I'll speak on this. The pig didn't want to talk about it. So, rent escrow account. Yay! We're freeing the slaves. Thank you for emancipating these homeowners, and especially the hard work that Councilman Koretz has done in ABC. Councilman Koretz went out in his overalls and helped clean up these properties on the weekends. That's the work that he does for his constituents. And then we have CD9. Current Price is cleaning up the district. He always told me it was the new 9th. I'm beginning to believe. CD9 has emerged from the days of the PDQ to the new CD9. This is pretty damn quick to get these properties in compliance. Thank you, Councilman Price.
Oscar Muhammad. After John Walsh.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org or J. Walsh Confidential, tweeting at Hollywood Dems. This is removing various properties from rent escrow account program. This means that the landlord had refused to make repairs. The renter had gone to the city. The landlord was warned, all these landlords, that if he or she didn't repair things, they would in fact change things and make the landlord. You would pay your rent to the landlord rather than to the city rather than the landlord. So actually, you're doing an excellent job on this issue. Remember, if you do a good job, I'm the first to congratulate you. I'm not one of those angry old men who say, "Oh, you're all a bunch of crooks. You're all a bunch of crooks." When you do a good job, I say it. Thank you.
Yes, the city police department already have a budget. They should not be receiving any money through donation. They're talking about a $75,000 donation on the billboard. And every 3 or 4 months they get donation. Over
Mr.
time,
President, he seems to be talking about a different item.
Yeah, it's not on that item, sir. So please stick to this item.
It was connected with this item with what they call rubbish.
No,
Rubbish.
we're on item 37.
Rubbish in the community.
No, that's,
The
not,
people
that's not the correct item, sir.
for their own rubbish around their house.
That's not the correct item, sir. We're on item 37. All right, thank you very much. That concludes the comment cards on this item. We'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
14 eyes.
All right, next item, 38. Michael Hunt. Mr. Hunt.
From Mayor Public Accountable, pursuing Charter Code 100B, Executive Legal Secretary position. I think you need a little bit more than an executive legal position or a secretary. He needs to hire outside counsel on this because the city doesn't understand what they're doing. Just when you get into the legal ramification of what the city's doing and the mayor, you need to hire outside counsel on this because truly the city attorney doesn't know what they're doing.
Wayne. Followed by Armando. Followed by John. Followed by Juan. Or whoever makes it to the mic first.
When I get there, I'll get there, right?
No, you'll start right when you start walking up. We'll start your time. Thank you.
So we're on item 38. Communication by the Office of Public Accountability, in which Monopoly Man, City Attorney Dion O'Connell can't even...
Stay to the agenda item, not addressing anybody in chambers.
Relative communication from the mayor's office that idiot Eric Garcetti, who does not come in here to defend the public's interest. That's an idiot. But when I'm talking about to approve for the re-exemption of our executive legal secretary, what the hell for? Pay up, bitch. Pay up. That's all you have to do. It's not your money. It's the ratepayers, the taxpayers. The same way you paid Michael Hunt versus the City of Los Angeles, 42 U.S.C., 1983, bonehead.
It's a very good points. Re-exemption? We're not supposed to re-exempt. You're violating union contract rules. This is unfair employment. You do this one time for emergencies. We were just upstairs. We just did it for 100 librarians. Please, Paul Koretz, explain that you cannot keep doing this shit because we're very concerned about union protections. These continued re-exemptions are exempting people from collective bargaining. And if you keep doing this, pretty soon you don't have collective bargaining. Then people get fired, and then they got to sue the city for wrongful termination without a collective bargaining agreement. You're getting around a lawful bargaining agreement. The city is a fair housing and fair employment. It's a city. So please, Mr. City Attorney, vote no on this goddamn item.
Yeah, vote no, because I command you to do so. I am your, what do you call it? What do they call the guy that's way up there in the pyramid?
Stay on the subject.
The subject is, the people need their bargaining power through bargaining For instance, if I give you a pig for a chicken, that's a bargaining. That's a bargaining thing. But if my pig is worth 5 of your chickens, why don't you give me 5 of your chickens instead of 1 of your chickens? You know what I mean? Pigs are worth a lot more than chickens. So that's a
Mr. President, his allegory is
Okay,
not
thank you very
related to
much.
this
Your
item.
time's up.
John Wall tweeting at Hollywood Dems. This is the re-exemption of one executive legal secretary position. This means in order to be a legal secretary here, the charter has certain qualifications. The city council eliminated some of these qualifications. I don't know whether this who this legal secretary is, and the city attorney, I want to know the name of the legal secretary, especially whether it's a man or a woman. And so now they're going to re-exempt, and the only reason they do this is for they can do anything they want. They could bring in a gorilla here and exempt them from the Charter Commission, and the gorilla would be a legal secretary. That's the way it's run. But I want to know the name of this legal secretary and if she's having sex with someone up here. And I know the answer.
Mr. Previn.
Thank you. It is Eric Previn. This is item number 38. And as was variously described, we are adding somebody to the Office of Public Accountability. I think people remember that the Office of Public Accountability was DWP-based 2011, and subsequently Mr. Pickle has taken over. Fred Pickle is the ratepayer specialist who comes down here. Maybe he's here. There he is. And so obviously adding an executive legal secretary to help with some of the confidential reports and various things he reviews is what's being discussed. And the mayor is exempting. I thought what was interesting is it's a 1001B. This, to me, I think I read, is about 150 positions that are allowed to be exempt from the regular labor rules, but we're already up to 170, I think I read. But this is an opportunity to, and there are two others on this agenda that I won't address and go off mustache, are completely similar. So 1001B. So, Mr. Englander, is this okay with you? I know you're a big champion of labor. I mean, it's okay with me because I think we do need executive legal.
Thank you. Your time is up. And so with that, we have no other speaker cards in the queue. We'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right, item 41. Wayne, followed by John, followed by Armando, followed by Michael Hunt.
Well, this is one for the murals. 2 murals. CD11. Yes, they have a mural in CD11. When they tag the Veterans Memorial, that's a mural. Tagging is a mural. Is that what you want? You want pre-taggers to tag things in Mar Vista? We're tired of these fucking murals. I'm tired of people on drugs spray painting walls with shit and they call it art. If you want to see art, go to the Broad Museum. That's art. Google Claude Monet. I've seen the lithogram. My mother got it for me when I was 14. That's fucking art. Murals are not art. Murals are drug-induced scribbling bullshit. Stop funding bullshit. No on these fucking murals.
(422) APC. Just another dialogue of how we destroy veteran murals. How Weezer has destroyed a mural called Willie Heron off of Cesar Chavez and Soto. For how many years? Way too long. And who paid for it? We, the taxpayers, Weezer. Unreveal our fucking murals so we can enjoy art. I love art. I love art the way I love you, big ears. because veterans have a right to have murals all over. Red, white, blue. Red, white, blue.
Ask that you not yell into the don't yell into the mic. That's against the rules. Keep your voice down.
During Memorial Weekend, you should have jumped on it.
Sorry.
Instead, you're asking for more.
You're out of time. Thank you so much. All right. No other cards on this item. We'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Armando? On item 5?
Well, you can start the clock anytime because I'm going to stay right on topic. We find that the quit claim of a storm drain easement on Santa Monica Boulevard, fucking easterly on Los fucking Palmas Avenue right of way, regarding the approval for a storm drain fucking easement, once again shown the color of red on Exhibit A. Fuck the city engineer for the report dated July 20th, 2016 to approve the petitioner's question for item number 3 on this agenda for the storm drain easement for Los Palmas Avenue's right-of-way number 36000/2129. Instruct the city clerk to forward a fucking copy to the council's action on this ordinance to the fucking real estate division of the Bureau of fucking Engineering for processing. The same fucking problems you have.
Thank you for being so articulate. Juan?
Storm drains. Who needs them? All you need them is to wash all the needles and all the drug users throw in there and wash them into the sea and stab the little mermaid in the tail. And poor little mermaid, she becomes a drug addict. You know what I mean? So that's how you're spending the money on storm drains to flush out the drugs into the ocean. Is that what it is? That's what I understand. Maybe I don't understand shit. All I understand is that Donald Trump is going to lead us into Third World War. And,
he is not talking about the item.
We're going to need a lot of storm drains because there's going to be a lot of shit floating in the streets. Yeah. Yeah.
Michael Hunt? Number 5. Pass. Eric Previn?
Thank you, Councilmember Englander. What is this 1 minute? Is it 2 minutes today or not? Point of order on that? Any comment? 1 minute. Okay. That seems awkward because we ordinarily do 2. Item 5 today is fortunately we're doing a little storm drain quit claim. And I always support these things because this one sounded like, for a moment I got excited and thought this was Mr. O'Farrell's district where that family came down and said we just have to close this place off and they were getting penalized with fees and blah, blah, blah. But then I realized it's in Rue's district, who I haven't seen, by the way. Is he still in Italy with Buscaino? But anyway, this one is an easement in Santa Monica, on Santa Monica Boulevard, east of Las Palmas. I think it looks okay. The one thought that I had was apparently the petitioner has made a satisfactory arrangement, and that's good news, with the real estate group, which everybody expects, at BOE, Bureau of Engineering, with respect to the payment of the document recording fee. The question is, what is the reasonable arrangement? Because if it's not visible, then we don't know what that arrangement is, and it's kind of like a secret private arrangement. So please make it public. Thank you.
Okay, that is the final cards on item 5. We'll go ahead and open the roll and close the roll and tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Mr. Walsh on item 1.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org. City Attorney, it's 2 minutes per item with 5 minutes total. Those are the rules. Now, if you want to suck his cock up there...
Okay, you're not on the subject. You're out of time. Thank you very much. No more warnings. You weren't on the subject. You're out of time. Now you're disrupting this meeting, Mr. Walsh. Go ahead and have a seat. Sit down. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No, Juan, I didn't call your name. Thank you very much. Sit down. Michael Hunt.
Let's see. In protest of all liens, I think that the city should actually recuse itself from liens. Give the money back to the people so they can invest it back into their property. It's a goddamn shame that the city of Los Angeles has to put liens on places. And this is where that the taxpayers usually lose out, because liens only hurt people. They don't save people's property and things like that. So I want you guys to fucking get it together. You guys don't know any better, but all you council people represent the people. The people don't need any liens on their fucking property. Get that together. They're dependent on you. You depend on their votes, they're dependent on you. Cut that lien bullshit out.
Seeing no other cards, we'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote. Oh, Juan, sit down. We don't have a card for you. Sit down. You're actually out of time, so... You're going to yell out from the chamber, then you're disrupting this meeting. We'll ask you to leave. Thank you. On item 10, Mr. Hunt on item 10. Mr. Previn, item 10.
Thank you, sir. It's Eric Previn from CD2, and we're clearly not going in numerical order. We are bouncing around. Item number 10 is one of the lighting district ones. I signed up on it because it is a partnership between CD2 and CD6, two of my favorite council districts. And there are also, just for the record, I believe there are 13 very similar lighting district approval items on this agenda today, which is very, very good news for those who are putting in these new lighting apparatus or apparata. I don't know who it is, and I'm sure they're very, very happy they're doing so in concurrence with Prop 218 and various other rules. Now, I'm not really sure. This looks like it's right in my area, but I can't quite be sure where these are because the maps are always hard to read. But I know that there's been a lot of diligence, and this is a cycling process through. Could somebody at some point, because we once had a group down here grieving like crazy about it, actually explain the process just kind of clearly? The guys from Building and Safety were having a terrific celebration. They were very happy about Mr. Bush and everybody's unbelievable unanimous support for that guy, which tells you one of two things. Either he's a great guy.
All right, thank you very much. So on that item, that completes public comment. We'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right, item 42, John Walsh. Stick to the item, please. Specifically on 42.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org and tweeting at Hollywood Dems. I do have one. I spoke for 4 minutes. This 1 minute is correct here. It wasn't correct before. And the city attorney just sitting up there licking his lips.
Okay, you're not on the subject again, so you're out. You forfeit your time. I warned you walking up, and I gave it to you before, Mr. Walsh. I'm not here to babysit you. I warn you on every single item. You know the rules. You know the rules. You're going to open it up with something else, and you're out of time. Thank you, sir. Mr. Hunt? Michael Hunt? Final call? Okay. All right, so that concludes the cards on 42. We'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Mr. President, there's been a request to send that matter forthwith.
Okay, without objection, that'll be ordered. Thank you so much. All right, we'll go ahead and open it up for general public comment now. William Rodriguez, Morrison, William, no longer here. Ann Martin.
Yes. My concern is paying exorbitant traffic tickets for minor traffic infractions. And I paid $400. I was fined. I was assessed $490, and I researched it at the law library and found I should have only paid $100. That's the code. And you know, I believe even that I've had trouble with certain of these people since that time, and I want to see Mayor Garcetti and also Chief Beck, because this is very, very intimidating and it's very serious business. But I don't know why anybody would be charging me. And I'm not the only one. There are a number of people that are paying these exorbitant fines.
Great. Thank you very much. And again, speak to items only under the purview of this body. Juan?
You heard the lady. You are bashing the people in every single aspect of whatever we do. You screw us up with parking tickets. There are ways. If you go get your handicap sticker, then you defeat the system in this item of parking. Fuck you, City of LA. And if you get your access card, you defeat the city in the realm of transportation. Fuck you, City of LA. Fuck you, City Attorney. Fuck you, City Clerk. Fuck you, big ears. Fuck everybody in this horseshoe. You're full of horseshit. You are victimizing the people that elected you. Fuck you, motherfuckers.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Mr. President, can we ask that we send item 36 forthwith for Mr. Ryu?
Yes, without objection, that'll be the order. Thank you very much. Armando Herman?
Brandenburg versus Ohio, 395, 444, 1969. Whitney versus State of California. And Dennis versus the United States. How far is this end going to go? Yeah, you, Englander. What is it that we're going to do to take back our city, you dirty N? What are we going to do? Let's send back the Jews to Israel. Let's give them back. Let's give them back. Save America. Trump, Trump, Trump. Let's go back to the constitutional betterment. Bury the ants, and bury the niggers. That's not what we intend to do, but it's your part, you white Uncle Toms. It's your part. Give us our state rights. We will fight for every inch, Hugo Rossiter, because this is America, First Amendment, free speech, our 14th Amendment, and I have the right to say
Mr. Hunt?
I think that you guys have learned a lot. This last civil complaint tried to put a restraining order on me with O'Farrell. I have the legal ease of decorum and the First Amendment. Dion, whoever told you that I couldn't wear my scarf downstairs up to a public meeting was wrong. You got that fucked up. Hunt versus the city of Los Angeles, we blew you guys out of the water. You settled for $215,000. I do have all the legal ease, and you arrested me on January 15th for wearing my garb. Why would you make the same fucking mistake in a public area? Because you guys are jackasses. You guys make the same mistake over and over again. You detained me for wearing my garb into the meeting after I got past the medical detectives. You guys are jackasses. Believe me, you, Farrell, you cannot beat me in civil litigation.
John Walsh.
Walsh tweeting at Hollywood Dems. Why did Monica Rodriguez, the vice president of Public Works, suddenly quit today? We'd like to know. Measure R2, the half-cent never-ending sales tax will go down to defeat. We will defeat it the same way we won with anybody but Englander for supervisor. Out there at the ballot box, we have control. Mr. Englander was the #1 favorite. He spent millions of dollars, and he was defeated because of the anybody but Englander for supervisor, which you're seeing right here. And I think we spent about $2.50 whipping his ass, because all people have to do is take a look at his face, his vomitous face. We spent $50,000 of our tax money to settle with somebody who works for him on sexual harassment. You are a scumbag.
Wayne.
So, who is Eric W. Rose? He told David Zonheiser he merely works at the firm of Englander, Knabe, and Allen. Just a guy that works there, doesn't go to public meetings, a concerned citizen. Turns out he's a senior partner of Englander, Knabe, and Allen. And it turns out he not only does that, he's a registered lobbyist with the city. And he's a fundraiser. And guess who he raises funds for? The chair. Mitchell Farrell, Joe Buscaino, and this quote-unquote unconnected, concerned citizen is trying to do something to me. Well, then answer this, Coca-Cola. Why are you hiring a firm of Englander, Knabe, and Allen to repress my First Amendment rights? What does that have to do with selling soda, Coca-Cola?
Oscar Mohammed.
Years, a lot of labor business that the city of Los Angeles used to do in the sanitation department, they contracted out to the non-citizen to do it for cheaper labor. But anyway, but they let the non-citizen use their vehicle to do the contracting work. There should be dishonesty in business. We need checks in our government, someone to watch over us. We should regulate the mismanagement of the revenues. We have no checks with which way our mayors are spending the money in Los Angeles and which channel it's going through. We should end the homeless on Skid Row. The animals are living better life than human beings. The human beings living and dying on the sidewalk downtown Los Angeles and all over the sidewalk. We don't see no animal dying. We should have a government that would care. A government should try to educate the uneducated, bring dignity to the undignified people. We should bring skill to the skilled people. We should try to find a way to unite in America.
Thank you. Mr. Previn.
Thank you, Council President Englander. But what happened to item 2? Did that get approved today? Because I had signed up on that item. It's about the hotel that had not paid its taxes. I don't know. It was about $100,000, and it was item 2. Well, anyway, general public comment today. I'm standing in the crowd, and a guy from France comes over, which I always like to see, people visiting from other countries. This is good for our transit occupancy tax for lots of different reasons. And the guy was asking what's going on in here. Can I take a picture? I said, of course, please feel free. And I was trying to explain what's happening in this hall. And, you know, is this a legislative meeting? What's going on? And I have to say, I asked a few questions about how they do it in France. I said, obviously, you have the comment public in France, I assume, the land of great liberty. He said, no, not really. I said, you're kidding me. Is that true? Or he said, well, you can't, you know, there's a, I said, what about, this is the land of Charlie Hebdo, and we've got all these great critics, and, you know, isn't there, don't you have such a thing? So I didn't take him at face value because he's just a tourist and he may be wrong. But I'm going to look into how other people do it. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes general public comment, and I believe clears the desk.
Yes, sir. Council has motions for posting and referral.
We'll go ahead and post and refer those.
Desk is clear.
All right. With that, colleagues, do we have any announcements? Seeing none. Do we have any adjourning motions? Okay. If we can have everybody please rise for adjourning motions. Please rise for adjourning motions. Thank you very much. Okay. Councilmember Buscaino.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I ask that we adjourn in memory of an incredible Harbor Department employee who recently lost her battle to cancer, Julia Nagano, on July 19th, a lifelong resident of Torrance and former Director of Public Affairs of the Port of Los Angeles. She began her career with the City of Los Angeles as a public relations representative with the LAPD and joined the port in 1979. She was Director of Public Affairs from 1990 to 2004 and Director of Communications from 2004 to 2010. She retired after 39 years. She was an active member and past chairwoman of the American Association of Port Authorities Public Relations Committee. She also served on the boards of the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce, the Harbor Area YWCA, and the Seamen's Church Institute in San Pedro. Graduated cum laude from Cal State Long Beach and completed the executive program in management at UCLA's Anderson Graduate School of Management. Also took postgraduate courses in public relations at USC and received numerous commendations and awards from the city, county, and state throughout her long career with the city. She is survived by her loving husband of 45 years, Lance, 2 sons, Kevin and Robert, and sister Joyce Tanaka, and 2 granddaughters. May Julia Nagano rest in peace. She will truly be missed. And secondly, colleagues, if I may ask that we adjourn in memory of Violet Vioso, passed away on July 26th. Born November 27, 1939, in Kuzica, Yugoslavia, now Croatia, to Danica and Ante Kukar. After surviving the war in Europe, she immigrated to America by way of Washington in 1949. After 2 years in Washington, she settled in San Pedro at the age of 12 with her parents and brother. She attended grade schools in San Pedro, graduated from San Pedro High School in 1958. In 1970, married the love of her life, Frank Vioso, 45 years of marriage, and had 3 loving sons. Violet worked numerous jobs, including at APL and Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, and also volunteered countless hours at her son's schools with other numerous organizations, including Bookworm Guild at San Pedro Hospital, Velica Gospel at Mary Star, and Little Sisters of the Poor. Survived by her husband, Frank, brother Bob, and sister-in-law Maria Kukar, sons Anthony, Paul, Stephen, and 4 very loving grandsons, Anthony, Adam, Riley, Jake, and many cherished nieces, nephews, cousins, and friends. May Violet Vioso rest in peace. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you. Mr. Huizar.
Mr. President and colleagues, I ask that we adjourn in memory of Molly Laurie, who passed away on July 25. She passed away just a week before her 71st birthday. Molly was a dedicated and influential advocate for people experiencing homelessness. She was a pioneer in the concept of Housing First, which accepted people into housing and services without requiring them to meet preconditions of sobriety, for example. This became a proven strategy and a model for the nation, but it also reflected Molly's commitment to treat and serve people who they are, regardless of where they come from and how disfortunate they could be at that time in their lives. She was director of Ocean Park Community Center in Santa Monica before founding what became Lamp Community in Skid Row in 1985. She then worked at Housing Works since 2006. The city and her neighbors in Highland Park have lost a true friend of the poor and disenfranchised, but she leaves behind a lifelong legacy of service and example to all of us. Thank you.
As a personal friend, if I could join in that adjournment.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cedillo.
To adjourn in the memory of Ramon Ortiz. He was a stalwart member of the Lincoln Heights community. He came to Lincoln Heights in the 50s. He was born in June 30th, 1930 in Nuevo León, Guanajuato, an incredible, beautiful state of Mexico. But nonetheless, he, in 1951, moved north, or actually later in the 50s, moved north with his wife, who he married in 1951, moved north to Los Angeles, to the Lincoln Heights area, where he started his own business, the Falcon Television Service and Jewelry Repair. You could get engaged and be on television at the same time at his local business. He was a lifelong and loyal resident of Lincoln Heights. He had a wonderful life. He was resilient, a hard worker. He's the father of 7 children, a very bright, articulate, engaged man. He passed just recently and was buried on Sunday, or rather on Monday, and his services were Sunday. He had 16 grandchildren and 16 great-grandchildren, blessed by the 7 children that he had, and his wife Laura of 65 years. They ask that he be remembered in prayer and in kindness and in joyful singing, and I will join all of you in 2 of the 3. God bless him. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Seeing no other adjourning motions, that concludes this council meeting. We are adjourned. Be safe.